What's up, everybody? I am Adam Frex in studio for once with Justin Olson.
What's up, everybody? Game day.
Here's a cheers to the NFL season kicking off. Let's get it. All right. Biggest question of the day. Is Travis Kelce playing? Not should he play? Is he playing, in your professional opinion?
I don't think he should play.
Yeah, do you think he's going to play?
I think
with the information that we've read, do you think that he's going to play?
I think he's going to try real hard to play, and they might put him out there for a couple snaps and see, but I just don't think it's a good idea. But I think he's definitely going to try to play for sure.
Yeah, it's so I think that they're going to put him out there. So what I think that they're going to do with them elevating Bushman up, that gives us 4 tight ends. And what it's going to do, we're going to put him out there for pregame, maybe get a couple snaps in, see how he does for the first couple drives, and then kind of take it from there. Do I think that's like the smartest decision? No, I don't. I don't even think that we should try it. Not that I want the Chiefs to lose, but I would rather the Chiefs lose this particular game than lose Travis Kelce for the season.
Yeah. And I think it would help to have him not in the game and kind of guide Noah Gray. We want to see Gray make that next step up.
Agree.
I think this would be the best thing that could possibly happen to help Gray get that next step up. So I think we could benefit from him not playing. Obviously, we benefit more from him playing, but
Right.
I think it's one of them things where you just got to make the right call.
Yeah, it's definitely a long-term thing that you're looking at too. Because even to go with that Noah Gray, he comes out, he plays well. Now you've set the offense up to have that 2 tight end look more often, and you get Gray a little bit more confidence that it's just another formation that we can run off that we haven't really ran off a whole lot as far as like having that second receiving tight end, with the potential that I think a lot of people can see with Noah Gray.
Yeah, for sure. I think it would definitely help in the grand scheme of just Andy reading his schemes for sure.
Yeah. So the more formations that Reed can put in, the better we are long term for the season. Now, with that, let's just say Kelce's out for this game. Obviously, it's going to be a detriment because arguably Kelce's is the greatest tight end of all time. What does that do for the Chiefs in this particular game?
I mean, I think it's going to make it tougher to win the game, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with, the next topic, Chris Jones being not there. So, I mean, obviously when you lose your top 2, both sides, your best playmakers on both sides of the ball, it definitely hurts you.
Yeah, fact. Well, especially, we're not the best defense to begin with. What did you say we was 13th in last year, 11th, something like that? Yeah, 11th overall as far as like total yards. And from what it seems like with the Detroit Lions, that they have the momentum going into this season. And it looks like they're on the uphill trajectory as far as what their offense can be, and having a guy like Jones out, especially I could see MCD fucking just wanting to or MCDC wanting to fucking just run the ball down our throat with the 2 running backs that he has. It's one of those things where it could be like a Jahmyr Gibbs party. Like it's especially with us not having the strongest interior D line, and then Amenahu, is that who it is? Yeah. Amenahu being out. I mean, that's going to be a big thing too, because now you're losing an edge guy. You're losing one of your better edge guys. You're losing the best defensive tackle in the league right now. So now you're looking at Noddy, and who's starting beside him? Wharton. So that's who I would go with. I'm big on Wharton. I think Noddy is kind of I don't want to say he hasn't lived up to expectations. It's not like he was a high round pick, but it's one of those things where, man, we're fucking thin at that spot right there.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be interesting. They're definitely going to try to run the ball down our throats. And I think that's where Nick Bolton's going to have to step up. And, obviously he's probably our leading tackler last year, and he's probably going to have to be this year. And
yeah, we had that discussion yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, who's more important, Nick Bolton or Chris Jones?
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, obviously, if you can replace Jones with someone that is capable of stopping the run, then obviously I would say Nick Bolton.
See, that's where I wish we would have got a big guy who stopped the run in free agency, which we're kind of just rolling with what we had. If you have that kind of guy who plugs the gap, don't get me wrong, Chris Jones is elite and he's gotten better against the run, which was like my biggest problem with him when he was getting his sacks, but we was getting ate the fuck up in the run game. So a guy like Bolton, he can mask some of that. So like we don't have Hitchens back there no more, just absolutely getting blown the fuck up and letting everything get by him. So it's one of those things where you definitely like. I think Bolton catapults himself into that fucking superstar, star linebacker. Maybe not superstar yet, but I think that you're really going to see our linebacking core. And like, let's not forget the guy that we got from San Diego, from the Chargers.
Drew Tranquill.
Yeah, Tranquill. I think that's going to be such a fucking underrated signing. Literally a linebacker that's that good, that can play all three positions. Literally unbelievable.
Yeah, he's definitely going to help out. I think it's going to show in this game, too. I think they're going to plug him in a lot this game, and he's going to definitely be that guy.
Terry Brown says, he's talking about Bolton. He will pop back up, or hold on, Jones. Yeah, Jones. Sorry, he will pop back up in week 8. We just got to show that we can win regardless of the star defensive player. I think we're going to see a new style of defensive playing without Jones for a few weeks. Well, what we're going to need is other guys fucking stepping up and hopping up into becoming, taking that next level, not being just a jag, just a guy, to where it's like this is a dude on the field, to where it's a force to be reckoned with. Another thing is Snead.
Right.
Is he playing? Granted, I love what Veach has done as far as what we've done in that cornerback room, but like there's a gap between Snead and everything else. Maybe McDuffie takes that next step up, but there's definitely a gap. So that's one thing that's been lost through this with the Jones and the Kelsey thing is Snead playing? And like, let's not forget, like he's as far as like a guy who's in our slot cornerback, it's something that we're going to absolutely miss. Alex says, I hope Sanders shoots the A gap a lot more. Sanders.
Colin Sanders?
Nah, he's Colin Sanders with fucking New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to have to see some of our other guys stepping up, and that's just all there is to it. But I think it's going to be good for the rest of our team because I think we've become so reliant on Chris Jones and getting the pressure, stopping the run. He's just been the jack of all trades on our defense that just does it all. And I think, with Karlaftis coming off of a good rookie year, I think him playing without Jones next to him is going to show him, a whole new perspective on how to play the defense. And I think that's definitely going to help him. And obviously, a Minahue being out is going to hurt, but I mean, I think it's going to just level up everybody else on our defense.
What it's going to do in the long run, you got all these players getting these fucking reps. Are these, these younger guys or guys who be, considered number 2, the rookie we just drafted. He has a long name. But him getting the reps that he's going to get by the time that we do get him in back, or even if
Felix.
Yeah, Felix.
I'm down who
Azubuike, not Azubuike, what the fuck, something like that. But just kind of having him get the reps, Karlaftis get the reps. It's going to be something that long term, I think it's going to Felix and Duque Azuma. Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was. I thought Duque was in there. So it's definitely one of those things. But like, let's be honest, for like this particular game, defense isn't going to win the game. It's on both teams. Obviously, I think it's going to be pivotal that somebody gets stops. But the offense, like we were talking about it earlier, if you're going to fucking bet on anything, it's on the over. So the past 11 Detroit Lions game, they've hit the over every single time. And the past 6 games, the Chiefs have also hit the over. And both teams coming in with fucking streaky ass defenses. Lions had tightened up their defensive backfield a little bit, but they did absolutely nothing with their D-line and their linebackers. And then you have a surgeon like fucking Patrick Mahomes. You're going to have to get a rush on him to actually give your defensive backs a chance. And I think that's where, if you're looking at what you think the Chiefs are going to do, I think you're looking at a 40 attempt passing game from Patrick Mahomes.
I definitely can see that, unless I could also see Andy Reid running the ball more than he usually does. I can see it being one of them games where he's like, all right, let's lean on Pacheco a little more.
Yeah,
but with Pacheco not,
fully
healthy or not practicing fully in OTAs and all that, I could see him maybe, like you said, throwing the ball 40, 45 times this game.
The thing with Pacheco's good. It's not like it's any leg problems. What, wrist, thumb, some shit like that. It's his hand. So it's one of those things where as long as you can hold on to the ball, I think it's going to be beneficial to have him out there. And it's kind of one of those things. So I put this up, like, I could see Clyde getting a little bit more fucking attempts that people think. They trust Clyde. So, and Andy likes to rotate those fucking backfield. He loves a running back by committee. What's the score today? What are you gonna have to wait till the end of the show to get that? That's going to be at the end of the show. TJ said, let's talk about Sky Moore. Is he going to start Rocky like last year and then make me $300 on the Super Bowl catch? Man, the thing with Sky Moore is if you're a rookie in Andy Reid's offense ever since he's been with the Chiefs, you're lucky to get 500 yards. So the fact that he get a little over 200, and with how deep that we kind of was at wide receiver last year, I mean, up until McCole Hardman got hurt, he never really had a chance to see in the field, because if you think about it, even early on the season, Justin Watson was kind of getting a lot of those reps.
All right.
And then you had a receiver like Kadarius Toney who didn't have a huge snap count, but that cuts into a young receiver like Sky Moore last year. So it's one of those things. Is he going to be better? Is he going to have more numbers? Oh, if he doesn't have more than 250 yards, fucking something's went wrong, either for him injury-wise or the Chiefs they didn't believe him like we did, and that's where a guy like Rice could step up, or just, Ross, which I don't think he's going to get much playing time. 17, the fucking Richie James. Yeah, so it's going to be one of those guys. I think that Moore's going to be better, but do I think that – I don't think he's going to be our number one wide receiver.
I don't know. If Travis Kelce don't play today, I think, once again, that's going to benefit our wide receiver room. And with Richie James being somewhat injured, not fully participating in practice, Justin Ross and Rashee Rice kind of getting into the system, I think that's going to be huge for MVS, Sky Moore, Justin Watson. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Sky Moore puts up 100 yards today.
No, it's one of those things too. Like, even if he doesn't get 100 yards, I see going 7 for 80. You know what I mean? Right. And a touchdown, something like that. Because Sky Moore's not like a stretch the field kind of guy, but he could be that PPR, that possession receiver that we're kind of looking for. And if he can break a couple tackles and that's what we're that's kind of what we're looking for him. It's kind of to be, because we have those other guys. You have MVS, who's a speed guy, even being fucking 6'4". A Richie James, like he's I would also consider him like a slot guy that has speed. So it's one of those where with Sky Moore, this is his opportunity to shine. So like, let's be honest here, this is his opportunity to grab the fucking bull by the horns to see if he can actually do it, because he has every opportunity to become that number one wide receiver. Because I don't think any of us, I mean, maybe you may say differently, I don't think any of us thinks MVS is a true number one.
No, I honestly wouldn't even say that he's a true number two. I think he's more of your third, maybe fourth guy, honestly.
Yeah, well, what he is like a great third option. Kind of what he was with the Packers when he was like the third option. He was getting 500-600 yards. It's perfect.
Yeah.
What he was for us last year was, it was rocky at the beginning of the year, but what he ended up being was perfect, because let's be honest, Kelsey's our number one. Juju was our number two last year. And then you had MVS as our number three. And then you sprinkled in kind of all the other guys who kind of chipped in. So it's going to be interesting, just kind of the dynamic. It's kind of fun because that's kind of what we had been talking about. I think with Chiefs fans, it's what we've been talking about. Like, how does that wide receiver room break down as far as who's going to be the guy? And now with Kelsey out, I think we get a chance to see that.
I'd say not fully, though, because I think Kadarius Toney, with him not being fully healthy, if he plays at all, he's definitely going to be on a snap count.
Right.
I don't think he's playing more than 20 snaps, probably.
But even then, so he was count last year. That might have been a thing where he had that hamstring issue with the Giants. So we kind of had him on a snap count anyways. So is that are we going to continue to do that, especially with him being hurt, that, hey, he's a playmaker, but he's also fucking brittle. So what do we do with him there? So I can see him being a 20% snap kind of guy. So it's definitely to where you use him to the best ability that you can. You'll get him the ball 3, 4, 5 times, but when he's on the field, you're going to be looking to get him the ball.
So who do you think gets the most targets tonight?
Oh, it's tough. So, like, because I've been running this through my head kind of as I was talking about. So, fuck, man, I don't know. Like, if I'm to guess, I mean, shit. Something about Sky Moore kind of pops in my head that he seems he's going to be like that underneath guy that we need, because typically that's going to be Travis Kelce. I could see it be Richie James.
I just don't know if he's going to get the
playing time,
snap count.
I agree, man. I think he's going to be our slot guy though. Yeah. So because if you have a lot of times we're going to play 3 wide. MVS is going to be out there. Sky Moore is going to be out there. Who the fuck is our number 3 wide receiver that's going to be out there with those guys? That's kind of my question is, are we rotating that fucking number 3 wide receiver like we've done?
Yeah, because it says Kadarius Toney limited participation in practice. So usually when that's the case, then they're on a snap count.
Mike says, who's taking Travis's position for today? That's definitely Noah Gray. And they brought up Matt Bushman, and obviously you're going to have the Belldozer that's going to be in there. He's our quarterback sneak guy. So, which Noah Gray has gotten some of that.
Do you think Noah Gray gets 10 targets today?
No. 10 targets? No. I think that's a big jump to get 10, maybe like 5, 6, 7. I think what you're going to see is we're going to come through this fucking game. Dude, I can see McKinnon being our top reception guy.
Yeah.
5. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's going to be, I think it could be one of those games where you walk away and it's like, 11 different players got receptions.
Right.
Like, literally, it's just like
no double digits.
Yeah, nobody double digits, 4, 5, 6. And you know what I mean? And you do that 11 times, shit. 3 of those 3 completions to each one. That's 33 completions. And so I think that's kind of what we are. I think that's kind of what we're going to see is now. Because, like, look how Pat was when we lost Tyreek. All right, we know Kelsey's the guy. But he went through more of his progressions of that fucking particular play on, and he would split it up in between receivers like we have it before. Now he doesn't really have that one guy that he's looking for. I think now it's going to be whoever's open is actually going to get the ball instead of he'll force feed it to Kelsey, which I think through his reads instead of like, all right, I know I'm going to Kelsey.
Right. I don't know. I could see he's just so used to going to his tight end that I could see Noah Gray. If he gets open, I could see it being hey, we're doing a podcast.
Candy.
Cool.
Oh, you got candy? Bro, we got a special guest here.
From my school.
Cool.
My teacher's this honey.
But we're doing
And I'm not kindergarten.
I could see if Noah Gray's getting open that, he's definitely going to get his targets. And I think if he's getting open and he's getting his targets, there's a chance that he might get close to 10 receptions.
Man, what you're talking about, if he gets 10 receptions, you're talking about a guy who's going to get 12 to 13 attempts at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a huge fucking chunk of looks at a guy who's never really proved anything. So it's going to be like a Noah Gray good game would be 5 catches, 75 yards, just like in clutch 75, those 5 catches, 2 and 3, or make sure that they're first downs or they're at pivotal points in the game. So like this is definitely for me the biggest unknown, even with Chris Jones gone, because we kind of know who our defensive line is, and which scares the shit out of us, but we know that back 7 or that back 7 I felt comfortable with. Oh, this is a great question. Oh, sorry. Well, it looks like we're only at 4:31. So, do you think our line will keep Pat's jersey clean? This is kind of my prediction with what I can see in the preseason. I think we fucking upgraded at left tackle. I think
for sure.
I think we've upgraded at left tackle, and I think we severely upgraded at right tackle. Granted it's preseason, so we'll see. So, but Pat didn't get touched in the preseason. Like Pat stayed clean the whole time. And I think that bringing that Donovan Smith in, like, bro, you talk about for years, he was an elite left tackle. Elite left tackle.
And if you look at him in preseason, that dude was just a dog.
Oh,
he was out there just driving people.
And not only that, so watching the franchise things, dude, and him bringing the taco trucks in and just kind of building that camaraderie, which you need in the offensive line room. So it's just, I think that as far as I don't think Pat's going to be scrambling for his life this year.
No.
Because even with Orlando Brown, there was times where he played well, but I don't think our offense fit his best ability. I thought he was like a run grader. Let's push forward. He was good. He was a good left tackle. He was very solid. But I think Donovan Smith fits this offense perfectly, that he can get back and keep Pat off of. Because what used to kill Brown was, bro, that first step. They'd be fucking, not all the time. Well, besides his first game that he started with us, he gave up a million fucking pressures. But after that, there would just be moments where off the snap, boom, the DN's already in Pat's face, and he's having to be fucking miracle worker.
Yep. No, for sure. And I think that's Donovan Smith. He's good at both. Like he can not only can he just lay guys out and get downfield, but he's very good at moving his feet and keeping his block all the way through the pass.
Yes.
And so I think that's going to be huge. Jawan Taylor, that's going to be the guy that I want to watch play, because he's really, I think, our only question mark at this point on our offensive line. But no matter what, he's better than what we had
Yeah.
last year.
You know what? And Wiley wasn't bad for like kind of what we paid him and the service that he gave us. He was a starting right tackle on an NFL team, you know, or on a Super Bowl winning team. And on top of that, the Eagles defense which was the greatest fucking D line of all time that they were saying, they held him up.
Right.
I don't want to talk about the field because I don't give a shit about that because both teams played on the same field. So it's just a matter of he did his job. Now is he getting smoked in Washington? Yeah, right now we'll see. But nonetheless, it's the O lineman. I think that these teams can't just peel their ears back and know that, hey, if I get this speed on either side, I can get to Pat and make him get out of the pocket. I think you're going to see more of a pocket quarterback from Pat this year, too, because he's going to have that availability. Granted, he'll still improvise, but I think he'll have that availability.
I think teams have always thought that they got to get pressure on Pat to win games against him, get him off the field. And so with that being said, they know that our offensive line is one of the best in the NFL right now. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of more man coverage and a lot of more blitzes. And I think that's going to be very beneficial to Pat because he's going to be able to just sit there and dial up. And he's going to just thread the needles like he always does. And I think it's going to be a good year. I think Pat's going to throw. I think he's going to have over 5,000. Over 5,000.
I'm going to go for the under, man. I mean, just kind of make solid points. When I thought about this earlier, this was probably a couple of days ago when we was talking about it, and because I would probably put him in that 4,500 range. But after you saying that, with him able to have that pocket clean, to be able to have that much more time, that could be that 500-yard difference for me that actually puts him up to that 5,000 yard plateau, even with like the particular wide receivers that we have, man. It's so, and a lot of our guys are so young and unknown. Like, other than, you know, what you kind of have in MVS and Justin Watson.
But I think MVS is going to step up this year. And as crazy as that sounds, because MVS has just always been MVS.
Right.
But I think that extra time with Pat taking them down to Texas, OTAs, the whole 9 yards, I think that second year with Patrick Mahomes, getting that taste of the Super Bowl and what it's like, I think that's going to make MVS hungrier than he's probably ever been before. And I think that's going to bring out an MVS that we haven't seen before. Not saying I think he's going to go out and get 1,000 yards because I don't see that at all, but I could definitely see him being – I don't remember what game it was last year where he just blew up. We had some injuries and we needed MVS.
Yeah,
I think it was Bengals maybe.
Yeah, it was a primetime game. I remember that.
Yeah, so. but he stepped up, and that's what we needed from him at that moment. And I think that's what part of MVS we're going to see this year.
Mike, appreciate you tuning in, brother. Love you. So, yeah, I was just kind of looking through his stats, bro. He had almost 700 yards, and it was just kind of, 687 yards, 42 receptions for, 16.4 yards per catch, which is a huge, that's a huge fucking, that average per catch is, that's crazy. Usually guys are, 10 to 12 yards per catch. So he could be closer because he might get more opportunities to get targets. So if he bumps that up to, 50 to 55 catches, he could be an 800-900 yard receiver.
Right.
It might be one of those things, bro, where you have granted, I'm not saying they're going to hit just 500, but at least 4 guys have 500 yards. You know what I mean?
Right.
We think Kelsey will get his, depending on kind of the severity of his situation. And I think MVS is going to be a perennial 700. I think Sky Moore steps up to 700 or 500 at least. And then I think there's going to be another guy who has that 500. And then you're going to have 500 just out of the running backs, just kind of a split. So I think McKinnon will eat most of that, but it's definitely one of those things where we have options. We just don't know how it's going to fucking play out.
Right.
That's been the biggest thing. We don't know how it's going to play out. But
I think that works out good for us because, like Patrick Mahomes said was it last year? He said there's not going to be a number one guy every week. It's going to be
Yeah.
a different guy every week. So I think that's where these guys are going to have to step up, and we're going to see.
That's a great point. I think he's gonna lean into that even more.
Right.
Like just especially like he's gonna have to. So because like I honestly think Juju's a step above pretty much anybody right now, like especially where they're at in their careers.
Yeah.
Any better than any receiver that we have. I think he's a step above. I don't think he's a superstar, but I think he's a step above. It's like kind of being a total wide receiver. I think some of these young guys can pass him up. The one of the most interesting one is Rice. How does he develop? What is Andy interested in having as far as like him part of the game plan? Are we doing it like we do every other rookie? We're going to kind of work you in, or are we going to throw, hey, you're our number 3 wide receiver?
No, I definitely think he's going to kind of ease into it because I'm pretty sure he already said that they're, between Ross and Rice, they're going to be for certain formations only to start it, and then they'll kind of ease into getting them into more packages. So I think they're definitely going to have a slower start. But I mean, if Ross could be our red zone, end zone guy that just goes up and gets the ball and, gets us 15 touchdowns this year, perfect. Well, he can get his yards next year. If we can get him to be our touchdown guy, that's fine. Fortson being hurt on IR, that would be a perfect scenario for him.
I agree. Especially a guy that can a guy who's 6'4", 6'5", that goes to the peak of the ball. He goes to he gets the high side of where the throw's at. So it's definitely, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. Also fucking nerve wracking because I don't think either defense is going to be worth the shit tonight.
No, for sure.
So, but I think there are going to be turnovers. I think there will be turnovers. Like defenses will be pivotal, but I think it's going to be, like I said, I'm fucking hammering the over. But there's going to be turnovers. I don't see both teams playing a completely clean game. I can see Goff, especially if he gets kind of in that shootout and he needs to make a big play, kind of trying something that is outside of his realm and outside of the offense that they need to run.
Right. No, for sure. I could definitely see that. So I just hope that our cornerbacks are able to step up and make them plays when them plays come to them.
I know, dude. It's about time. This has been the longest fucking week ever, and it's fucking NFL kickoff is here. I mean, we've been talking. I mean, obviously since the end of the season, but once fucking July ramps up. Bro, it's fucking go time. Let's hit around the rest of the league real quick. I just want to kind of get your who's your division winners? Just kind of off the top of your head. We'll start. We'll keep it in the AFC for now. So we'll start with the AFC West. Chiefs. Yeah, Chiefs. I'm also taking the Chiefs. Then let's go to the AFC East, which 4 teams. That's where it gets tough. That's where 4 teams have the potential. Like you can make a case for every single team on why the fuck they can win the division.
I think it's gonna be the Jets.
So do I. I also want it to be the Jets. So sometimes like I'm fucking skewed on what the fuck I want because I love Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, bro. And I think they're gonna have a slow start. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're definitely gonna come to and they're just gonna take off, and that's all there is.
Dude, there's so many fucking weapons. The biggest thing with them. Can they protect Rodgers?
Right.
That O-line. But that defensive line is salty. They don't need the Rodgers of MVP status.
Right.
Like the defense is salty. They just need Rodgers to be top tier that second tier quarterback, dude. And you're talking about potential Super Bowl contenders. All right. So we both got the Chiefs. We both got the Jets. Who do you have in the AFC North?
I got the Ravens.
Got the Ravens. Think Lamar comes back kind of strong? Do you think kind of last year his shit was about his contract?
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm not fucking playing. Like, what the fuck? You got out of your mind if you think I'm playing.
I think it definitely had to do with his contract because he was, why go out and get hurt and risk getting paid?
No, I agree.
And that's basically what I think.
I agree. And it's kind of, it's like I had this lingering injury. And it also showed how important he was to the Ravens. And like
Right.
Huntley won some games, but he literally fucking went to the Pro Bowl with 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So
And I think the Bengals defense took a step back. Too,
yeah,
so,
especially kind of losing those safeties.
yeah.
Yeah. So and it's so we you have the Ravens. I'm going Steelers, man.
I don't hate it.
I'm going Steelers.
I don't hate it.
I'm going Steelers, man.
Bro, I think they're the most underrated team in the league right
so
now.
do I. So
I really do.
a couple of things is with Tomlin, bro. Believe in fucking Tom. Never had a losing season, even when he should have. He should have had a losing season last year.
Yeah.
I think Kenny Pickett gets better. You still have Najee Harris. I think Carl Pickens. I think he's going to be an absolute dog, potential top 5 receiver this year, wide receiver this year. So, yeah, I'm going to go Steelers in the North. And then we have AFC South. I'm going to take the Jags.
Yeah.
Like they
I
just
don't know who else would win in that division.
Yeah, I don't see the Colts doing shit for obvious reason. I hope Richardson does well. Fucking yeah, it's just I don't those other teams. Tennessee, who knows? Is Tannehill the starter? What are they going to do with that? Now, I think it'll be a Jacksonville, Tennessee battle because Vrabel's that good of a fucking head coach, though, because Vrabel can game plan some shit to keep it in there.
Yeah, we'll see.
But he don't have the quarterback. Like,
Yeah.
that's the NFL is about quarterbacks. You will
Yeah.
have those teams who kind of step up with mediocre quarterback, kind of like Tennessee did when they went to the AFC Championship. So that's the AFC. So let's start at the NFC West.
West. That would be
Niners, Cardinals,
Niners for sure.
yeah, Seahawks and Rams.
Yeah, Niners for sure.
I'm gonna go Rams.
No way.
I'm going
Bro,
Rams.
they're talking about putting Cooper Cup on IR. That
Nah,
means
that's
he don't
okay.
play the
Trust
rest of the year.
Bro, we're
Ain't
just-
happening, bro. Van Jefferson is
Look,
your
All right. After a computer update that was unanticipated and all the fucking luck that we've had with computers going through a third computer now. All right, so he's going through NFC West. I'm not as big on Purdy as everybody else is, so that's kind of my reason why I don't pick the Niners. And I think that Stafford and what the fuck is McVay are the best two quarterback head coach combo in that particular division. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's also me going out on a limb because more than likely it's going to be the fucking Niners. But
yeah. They don't need a quarterback. They don't prove that. They can run the ball down everyone's throats.
Well, and when you have a defense like that and they're paying fucking everybody around the quarterback, you're right. You have a situation where it's, hey, don't fuck this up. But I'm not completely sold on him, so that's a to be seen. So, all right, so let's go NFC North. Now that Rodgers is gone,
I think it's the team we play tonight.
Lions.
I do.
Do you think they have any contenders? Do you think like
Vikings?
I agree. So why aren't the Vikings the overwhelming favorite? Because they had a great season last year.
Yeah.
Is it because it felt like a fluke? Like everything was one possession?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, obviously they added more arsenal to the wide receiver room with Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
That definitely is going to help. But I don't know.
I mean,
I could definitely see the Vikings winning it too, but I think the Lions are just that team that are on a hot run right now, and they're just continuing to get better.
Are we in a situation now where we're like, as a country, we're rooting for the Lions because they've been shitty for so long?
I think so.
And so you just kind of have like, oh, let's fucking give these guys something. So I want the Lions to do it, but I'll pick Lions. Fuck it. I'm also one of those people that want to do it. I guess don't sleep on the Packers.
Don't sleep
on the Packers.
what I was about to ask
Don't
you.
sleep on Love. Love's looked good. He's looked a lot better this preseason than he has his previous couple starts. Even his last start, he looked better. So it's also unfair. He was playing the Chiefs for his first career start in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
So like let's not judge him off the 2 games that he played.
My thing is though, is the last thing I seen about the Packers was that their 2 receivers weren't practicing.
Yeah, which is not what the fuck. Well, that's the problem Rodgers had. It was like, hey, will you guys get me some fucking weapons? So they got what was his name? Christian
Watson.
Yeah.
Like Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah. Solid guys, but like, will they take those next steps with the quarterback like Love, which, Rodgers can elevate those guys. So yeah, it's one of those things. Watch out for the Packers. All right. So let's go NFC East. Cowboys, Giants,
Eagles,
Commanders. Eagles.
I am going to say, though, do not sleep on them Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to be a team to be reckoned with. They're going to upset a lot of people this year unexpectedly.
No, I definitely agree. I think Commanders are going to end up being a playoff team. I think they're going to be that 7th wild card or that seventh pick or 7th seed. So I think
it's going to depend a lot on that offensive line. That offensive line is still a little scarce. I mean, Wiley, I thought was a good pickup for him, but the fact that he was holding and got him a safety in preseason was kind of scary looking. But
we'll see though. Like we'll see that Hal ain't it? Yeah, he's looked good. He's looked pretty decent in the preseason, so it's one of those things. But I'm definitely taking the Eagles with that offensive line, Jalen Hurts, that running game that they have, even without Miles Sanders. And that defensive line is still going to be good.
Yeah.
NFC South, both South divisions are shit.
I know. I just hate to do it.
Oh,
the Saints.
The Saints with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
It makes sense though, bro. Because let's be honest, who's the best quarterback in that division? Derek Carr. Which I don't think Derek Carr's ever been able to say that. Like, if he has, it's been for a very short period of time. If he's been the best quarterback in the AFC West,
but I think the Falcons are going to be another team that people might not want to sleep on.
It all depends on
if Desmond Ridder keeps playing like he did last year, bro. I could see them making some noise.
Yeah, well, dude, and a great point to go with that was the Falcons were there. It's kind of till the fucking end when they should have never had any chance to be there. It was kind of how Mariota had played. Carolina was also kind of there in it at the end.
Yeah.
So I know they ended up with the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
So, but that's just how shitty the fucking NFC South was. I don't know. What the fuck. What's Baker gonna look like with Tampa? So it's every quarterback's a question. Other than I'm about to go with the Saints myself. Like if you're gonna have, if I'm betting money, give me the best quarterback in that particular division, which is crazy. Derek Carr. Maybe that's what he needed to take a step up in his career. Did we hit all of them?
I think so.
That's it. So, any score for tonight? What you got? Chiefs versus Lions. 7:15 kickoff, I believe, on NBC.
I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I'm gonna say 38-31.
Oh, so you think both teams are in the 30s? So hold on, let me check the over under on this just to say. Fuck, where the hell's my DraftKings at? I believe it's 50. So I think like 52 is the.
It is 53.5.
53.5. So that just means fucking both teams need to score 27 points.
Easy.
I agree. I think it's also going to be in the 30s. Would you say 38, 31?
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll go 38, 31 itself. I know that's not the best thing to do when doing a podcast is to agree with somebody, but if you agree with somebody, you agree with them. Passing yards from Mahomes tonight. Over under 300.
I think it's going to be barely under. Right at 285.
Yep. Also agree. Also don't think he needs that 300 yards. So if you see, if you're betting, bet the under, especially they have like a 350, under 350 for what, minus 265 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Fucking bet the under. So
I think Pacheco's going to have a hell of a game. I think his over under being at like 50 yards is something you want to take all day long.
Yeah. So, touchdowns. Who's the touchdown scorers for the night? So for those anytime scores, who you got? Both teams.
I'm gonna go McKinnon, Pacheco, Sky Moore, and Noah Gray for the Chiefs.
Okay.
And then Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
Times 2.
So yeah, I'm definitely going Amon St. Brown. Sleeper, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, just it's going to be like a lot of people's like, yo, what the fuck is he even doing in there? I think he's going to get more snaps than people think. I think he's going to be down at the goal line more than people think. So I can see Clyde just sneaking in there. Maybe that's because I put that down as a bet and I just want it to work. So I can see Noah Gray getting his first touchdown. I see, or getting a touchdown. I see if Kelsey's not playing, I see Noah Gray. So this is what I'm gonna go with for Chiefs because I got them at 38. I'll give you 4 players. I can't think of 5 to get it to the 38 mark. So we're gonna go Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Noah Gray. I think Pacheco gets in there. Sky Moore and Justin Watson.
That's 5.
Yeah, no, I know. So that gives it 38. I was trying to think. I think it's going to be guys that you don't expect. We're going to fucking spread the ball around. With Detroit, Amon St. Brown, and fucking we'll go Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he'll get a couple out the backfield. Who the other one is, I don't fucking know. So on that note, dude, we're fucking here.
It's that time.
We're fucking here. On that note, everybody,
Go Chiefs.
let's fuck.